The British Truck Racing Championship 2017 brought to you by Goodyear and Towergate Insurance.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Donington Park, the latest round of the 2017 British Truck Racing Championship. Not just an ordinary round this weekend, this is part of Convoy in the Park, the biggest truck event of the year here in the UK. Everything truck being celebrated, and of course the focus for us very much on the racing. Stuart, all the truck meetings are big in the UK, but suddenly this one is a massive one. I mean, we knew it was coming, we were really excited about it, but it is proving to be a mega one.
It is, it's phenomenal, way beyond expectations, in every way. The truck entries on the track, the truck entries in the show field, and competitors and manufacturers and, accessory sort of suppliers, and it's just fantastic, and the people that's come to the event today is looking to come through is great.
That's the big view. What about the Stuart Oliver? How was the little mini European tour?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. The Nagaro was fantastic. Went from two, the opposite extremes on the scale of the weather. Nagaro, sort of 32, 34 temperature, to Nürburgring that was, verging on just above freezing and downpours every 5 minutes. But yeah, it was great.
Matt, great to see you here. First of all, huge meeting here, coming off the back of another huge meeting at Nürburgring. How did that go?
Yeah, Nürburgring was really well for us, to be fair, mate. We was on the podium a couple of times, second and third place, got some good points, still strong in the championship with the second place in the championship. And then there's been big excitement towards this event here. There's just been a massive effort on it. It's me and the team have been busy as hell behind the scenes, obviously prepping this truck. And I'm overwhelmed by the crowd that are here, and just eager to get underway with this race, really.
Ollie, this is a very big meeting, isn't it, Donington Park? How are you approaching it?
It's an epic weekend. The amount of people that I've been speaking to, like in the industry, and for the last 3 months has been, we're coming to see the truck racing this weekend. We haven't done it for 5 years, and there must be 2,000 show trucks here. There's probably 20,000 people here today. It's been in every single bit of transport media. It's amazing, it looks like truck racing's on the up.
I'm with Peter Waite from Goodyear's Technical Services. Peter, first of all, very warm welcome and thank you for supporting this event, and what a big event it is too.
Thanks very much. Yes, certainly we've really enjoyed ourselves here today. It's been quite an event, seen lots more people than we thought we would do.
I was hoping you were going to tell us a little bit about the tyres and how the racing tyres relate to road tyres.
Yeah, no problem at all. Well, obviously I've got two tyres sitting here at this present moment. This one is actually one of the racing tyres that of course is being used currently by the trucks. Obviously it's got a different kind of tread compound on it, and the tread pattern is different. But underneath, it is actually almost the same as a normal truck tyre. We put a little bit more strengthening into the side of the tyre just so that it can go around corners a little bit better, because instead of doing 50 miles an hour around a corner, these trucks are going around corners at 80, 90, I hope not too often at 100, but if they're doing it, that's just a compliment to the tyre. But this tyre, it is actually road legal, and if this tyre was going to be driven on the road, it would actually be an A grade casing, which an A grade for wet grip, which basically means it's the best in class for wet stopping. It's also used for the dry as well, so it's an all-round tyre being used both on the drive and also the steer.
Race 1 of the weekend, the Division 1 trucks headed by Frenchman Anthony Aniek from Shane Brereton, Stuart Oliver and David Jenkins row 2, then Ryan Smith and Matt Summerfield. Ollie James and Luke Taylor comprise row 4, Simon Reed with Richard Collett row 5, Ray Coleman, Terry Gibbon and Michael Oliver complete the grid. From qualifying, the Frenchman was quickest, the ex-Formula 3 racer Anthony Aniek in the yellow number 6, the Team Lion Racing truck with Shane Brereton alongside. Brereton, remember, running at the moment third in the championship, and we're truck racing here. The convoy in the park. Race action is underway at Donington, going down into Redgate. Yannick, the Frenchman, is the race leader, but look at David Jenkins in the black digraph 69 going down the inside, side by side with Shane Brereton, on board with Jenkins. Coming now down into Hollywood, but Brereton's not giving up, he's still there in shock. This is going to be spectacular, coming down the curves there side by side. Jenkins hangs on for the outside of this. Brereton had the outside at Hollywood, and Jenks has got the inside coming into the old hairpin, but it's a sweep from Brereton. Stuart Oliver muscles his way past the HRVS machine of Matt Summerfield. Going through as well is Ryan Smith in the white and fluorescent, on board with Oliver. There to the right of us, what a start from Ryan Smith, the championship leader. Contact between the two, going up into Schwantz, but it's Janiak out front. David Jenkins second, big squabble on for third. It looks like Ryan Smith's come through for third. He was very quiet in qualifying, only in fifth place, but that is an indication of how competitive the truck racing is going to be this weekend. So here's the view from Stuart Oliver. 106 points coming into the weekend, one shy of Dave Jenkins. Jenkins in 69 is up ahead. They're coming down Exhibition Straight and into Roberts for the first time. Side-by-side moment there for the 22 of Ollie James, and front row starter Shane Brereton in the 17, the Kelsa fronted 17, the Tour Trucks machine going in front of Ollie James. You see from the flag top right that a little bit of wind here, just keeping the rain away at the moment, but it's Janiak the Frenchman still out front. What a superb sight these trucks make. This is day one of the meeting, and there's a huge crowd here. I've never seen such a big crowd for day one of a meeting like this, as Ollie James goes off and into the gravel, who'll try and keep it going. Off as well is the Rooster truck of Luke Taylor, all going a bit wide. Ricky Collett up towards the back as well. They've all kept going. So good news that we have still got the whole field still going. So down through the Craner curves again, there is Michael Oliver. Michael's making some decent progress here. He started 13th on the grid and he's passed a few drivers already. Centre of shot going horizontally across the pitch. You can see the massive truck show here. We've got a number of live bands playing over the course of the 2 days as well. An absolutely mega truck event. Stuart Oliver still chasing hard. Oliver in the Kelsa 7. There's Matt Summerfield in the blue HRVS, followed by Ollie James. Michael Oliver. Here's the view, very slightly downhill. You get a great shot there of the undulations on that back straight. A lot of people think of it as flat, but it's far from, as we go on board with reigning champion and this year's championship leader Ryan Smith in third place. Ryan down the road at the moment. Some good racing going on here with Terry Gibbon in 37 at the moment, trying to put pressure on Luke Taylor, coming out of the chicane and onto the Tom Wheatcroft straight here. There is Summerfield in the blue 84. James next up from Michael Oliver. So Oliver's made up 5 places in fact so far from his start, with Ricky Collett having a dice there with Ray Coleman just going through shot. Collett in the yellow 95 up ahead at the moment. Collett still developing that truck, and they come down through Hollywood into the Craner curves now. This is a tricky bit of track for anybody, car or bike racing, but when you've got the momentum that these heavy trucks have as well, it's an even more difficult task. I've got to say, the Frenchman though, Janiak, who's out front, showing some good skill. As I mentioned, he is an ex-front-running French Formula 3 racer. The Lion Racing outfit, a very welcome addition to the paddock this weekend. In all seriousness, of course, he's not going to, as Terry Gibbon goes through on the inside line now of Luke Taylor to make up her position, but Taylor's got momentum, having run wide now. Ricky Collett's going to come into the mix as well. Collett looks down the inside line of Gibbon. Can he go through? Collett's hard on the brakes. He was having a look, runs a little bit wide there, and I think he's possibly going to lose the place in behind to Ray Coleman, who's trying to make an opportunity there. And what this shows is that we've got super racing all the way down the field. Coleman read that well. He's got a look down the inside now, on inside line of Ricky Collett coming down into the chicane, and it's Coleman that goes through, makes up the position past Ricky Collett, and really that move goes back to Collett trying to get past the driver in front of him about a quarter of a lap ago. But Ray Coleman read that very well indeed, and his race strategy head on, and makes up a position. Ryan Smith still up ahead of Shane Brereton. Shane third in the championship, won 10 points, 3 points in front of Dave Jenkins, but Jenkins here is going to pull a few points on Shane Brereton by the looks of it, if things stay the way they are at the moment. We're on board with Ryan Smith, looking at Janiek in white and yellow, with David Jenkins having a good race here. Jenkins, always a consistent peddler, David Jenkins, and this year is all going to be about consistency as well as the speed that Dave Jenkins brings to the track as well. So along Starkey, you see the remains of the old bridge there, which was left off shot, but it's the Frenchman Janiek still out front. David Jenkins, former champion in 69, chasing hard. Then Ryan Smith, this one looking settled-ish at the moment. It's a good race rhythm from the leaders. Jenkins, though, is trying to hunt down Janiek, who qualified just 0.04 of a second ahead of Shane Brereton. So it wasn't a huge amount in qualifying here today as we go on board with the man in black, the MEN in black, the digraph machine of Jenkins, second place there. There he is, that immaculate truck. Fastest lap of the race so far, though, is with Ryan Smith, though. He's in third, and that fifth place qualifying, not any problem for him. We've seen Ryan, of course, taking pole positions this year and leading race one of every, or most of the weekend's first races by getting away, because just to remind you of the format here in British truck racing, the grid for race one decided on qualifying, and then subsequent races of the previous race result reversed. But look at this, Collett side by side with Michael Oliver, back end on the Kelso 12 starts to come around, but Michael checks it all up, gets it back in control. Ricky Collett edges across, and again you saw how the back end wants to just try and break away. That's how on the limit these trucks are. So Collett now up ahead of Michael Oliver. That is for 10th place. More for you after the break. Welcome back to Donington Park, the opening race of the convoy in the park of the Frenchman Anthony Janiek, under big pressure there from Dave Jenkins. Here's the view of that battle from Ryan Smith, who's working hard. Look at Ryan working, but runs a little bit wide, and Shane Brereton goes through. Brereton passes the championship leader. Ryan Smith, though, back on the offensive straight away, coming down into the chicane. Can Ryan Smith get the position back? Brereton started P2 on the grid on the front row, and a very exciting side-by-side first few corners with Dave Jenkins. Jenkins got the better of that, and it's Ryan Smith, though, still with the fastest lap as they go on to the last lap. Is he going to hang on to that? He's trying to get that third place back, but he'll be thinking as well about, but no, he's not thinking about points. He's thinking about getting back in front of Shane Brereton. So the Taylor's PT hire machine is working hard, but that was a good move by Shane Brereton. Don't know if there's a little momentary problem maybe for Ryan Smith. On board with Ryan again, coming down through the Crater curves. Super shot from these two, so we've got a very close dice for the lead between the Frenchman Janiek and David Jenkins, and also for third place between Shane Brereton and Ryan Smith along Starkey's. Smith drops back just a little bit as they go along Starkey's now, up into Schwantz, closes up again. Look at Jenkins, though. Wide line there at McLean's. This could give him momentum up into Coppice and maybe down the exhibition straight. You can see the onboard camera makes the gap look bigger than it actually is, and Jenkins is really having a good race here. Now, Jenkins will also know that Janiek realistically won't be a threat championship-wise, but he'll want the extra point nonetheless for getting in front. Ryan Smith looking as well. Great shot here of the top five trucks with Stuart Oliver in fifth place. Jenkins can't do anything about Janiek. Down into the chicane. It's going to be the Frenchman who takes the first win of the weekend here. Exits the chicane. Watch for the checker. Anthony Janiek takes the win. David Jenkins in second. Shane Brereton in third. Ryan Smith just edged then for that fourth place. Stuart Oliver next from Matt Summerfield. Ollie James in seventh. Luke Taylor next from Ray Coleman. And Ricky Collett completing the points finishers.
Anthony, congratulations on your win. Was it your first race at Donington?
Thank you, thank you. Yes, no, it's not my first race in Donington. Before European Championship, the 5 year, Donington is a very fast circuit here. And my race is no problem, just Jenkins, the small difference. Struck, good race for me. I'm happy to be in Donington.
David, congratulations. Runner-up to Anthony in the race, but first, Britt.
Yeah, no, brilliant start to the weekend for us.
And obviously, since we last saw you, you've been out at the Nürburgring. Tell us about that meeting.
Oh, that was an eventful weekend. Yeah, no, great weekend. Huge amount of support out there as ever, and a lot of races. But unfortunately, I dropped the ball a little bit in race 2 and spun off in the rain. But we made a great recovery drive in race 3 for a podium again. But all in all, a good solid weekend for us. No, this weekend looks like it's getting off to a roaring start in terms of the amount of people here and the amount of trade support that's here and sponsors. Personally for myself, without Digraph I couldn't go racing, but this weekend it makes it so special with them being here and the presence that they've got at this event.
Shane, podium for race 1, not a bad start to the convoy in the park.
Yeah, very good start. We had a little moment on first lap on the second corner, just got knocked off a little bit of a racing incident, and then managed to come back through. It was very good.
John, you're a manager with Digraph. Can you tell us a little bit about the company?
Yes, indeed. Well, I joined the company in 1996. We had 3 depots at the time. We now have 14. We have plans for 4 more before the end of the year, and hopefully by the end of 2020 we'll have over 100.
And what does the company actually do?
We provide spare parts, components for the trucks, service bits, brake bits, clutch bits, engine parts, anything practically that you need for your truck, you can get at Digraph.
And of course all your guests have got somebody very good to support here.
Yes, Dave Jenkins is brilliant. He's so approachable. The fans are welcome in the pit. He's talking to them down there now, surrounded by people. He's a lovely bloke. He's an excellent racer, as you will have seen in the last race, so he's doing well.
Joanne, obviously great to see you back in the paddock. We saw you at Thruxton. Tell us, how did that go? Did you enjoy it?
I did, but I kept being done for speeding, so I've got to be careful this time.
And Donington Park, I guess a little bit emotive because this is where you had that accident. So tell us about your recovery and how does it feel like to come back?
It's been 2 years. It's been a long time to recover, but I just can't wait to get out.
Yeah, the track doesn't faze you at all?
No.
I read on social media you said that the best thing to do is try and keep out of the way of your hubby.
Yeah, well, keep in front. Out of the way.
First of our Division 2 races about to get underway. Mika Mackinnon, championship leader with Tony Smith. Steve Powell and Simon Cole, row 2. Then it's Adam Bint and John Bowler. Luke Garrett and Wayne Eason next. Joanne Eason, Paul McCumpsky. Then Jim Bennett and Trevor Martin. Brad Smith and Andrew Fulcher. James Aikenhead alongside Andy Lovenbury. So a good eclectic field, a very competitive class, as you'll have seen earlier in the season. And away we go. And it is the 2 Sisus on the front row. Mika Mackinnon in black, championship leader. 4th in the standings, though, is Tony Smith, who slots into 2nd place. Then in 3rd position, it's the red and white truck of Simon Cole, the Beast. And this is going to be interesting, watching Mackinnon, Smith and Cole pretty much together. Steve Powell in yellow in the HGV direct truck is next from Adam Bint. Binty's 2nd in the championship standings. And Simon Cole, incidentally, is 3rd. So we've name-checked the top 4. Paddy McCumpsky is 5th in the standings from John Bowler. And here they come down into the old hairpin for the first time. There in truck number 42 is Luke Garrett. Luke, who dropped back into Division 2 for this year. Had a mega season a couple of years ago with Steve Powell for the Division 2 honours. And at the moment, Simon Cole there in the Beast, the red and white 41 truck chasing Tony Smith. And look at Steve Powell in behind as well. And Powell has got to look up the inside line here on Simon Cole. Is he going to be able to get through? Cole has a little bit more momentum out of Coppice as they come onto the exhibition straight. So believe it or not, we're looking at the top 3 because Mackinnon, the Mad Croc, the Finn, has disappeared off down the road and into the lead and has already cleared shot. In actual fact, as Tony Smith locks up, goes in the gravel, rejoins. Safe recovery for Tony Smith, but how much momentum has he lost? And then there is Mackinnon down the road going out of shot now. He's the leader. Simon Cole now up into 2nd place. Steve Powell is going to challenge for a podium and try and get through into 3rd. Behind them we've got John Bowler in the 14, and then Adam Bint in the white, Volvo white truck, the bonneted truck. And off goes Steve Powell, runs a little bit wide. This is the opportunity for Tony Smith to consolidate that third place, but it's still side by side. Steve Powell, though, the former Division 2 champion, really putting the pressure on Tony Smith here. Good race between these two. Smith, remember, wants the points to try and close down on Simon Cole. He's only 2 points behind Cole at the moment. Mackinnon leads on 109. Adam Bint second on 94, and then 10 back to Cole as we pick up on the 30 machine of Andrew Fulcher. Good to see Andrew getting some laps in. Look at that track, absolutely immaculate. A relative newcomer to racing per se. He's raced a little bit in the BRSCC's Alfa Romeo Championship and then made the big move up here into the trucks, and good to see him getting some decent laps here. Here's the leader though, Mika Mackinnon. The Finn, the Flying Finn, so good, and the championship, the British Championship, just appeals to Europeans. We've got Yannick racing with us from France in Division 1, and we had Mika's Finnish colleague as well at Thruxton, you might remember last time out. There is 20 truck of Wayne Eason. That's hubby that Joanne Eason was talking about. At the moment, having a dice with Trevor Martin. Up into third place now goes Steve Powell. Great move by Powell down the inside line. Passes Tony Smith. This is where Tony went straight on earlier on. So remember, a quick recap on the format of these races. Fastest off the front for race number 1. We take the race result and reverse it for race 2. If you non-finish the previous race, they start at the back of the grid. But effectively, the last finisher from the preceding race starts on pole position. And that carries through the meeting. 10 points for a race win, 9 for second, and dropping by a point for each place for the top 10. You get an out if you're outside the top 10. There is Joanne Eason having a very good return. Had a difficult accident here a couple of seasons ago in the teeming rain, as you heard in the interview. And Joanne totally unfazed by that accident, and coming back and putting pressure here on John Bowler, who we know is no slouch at all. So Joanne Eason running very well indeed, and Adam Bint, of course, is the defending champion, immediately ahead. So a good race in prospect here. It looks like Bowler's closing up on Bint. We pick up on James Aikenhead. Good to see James back as well in the number 8 Sisu, another HGV direct livery machine. Trevor Martin is next, then Andrew Fulcher well involved in the mix, that immaculate Lenham truck. But look at this battle now. Binty loses out to Bowler, and Joanne Eason's coming through as well. Joanne Eason looking to pass the defending champion. It goes through. Joanne Eason's got her nose in front, passes Adam Bint, makes up that position, and she's challenging John Bowler as well. Super racing here from Joanne Eason. And this is for fourth place here. Bowler holds it at the moment, but he's got a wide line coming into the chicane. This is the point where the accident occurred for Joanne Eason, who shows no fear at all and makes a super pass to go up into fourth place. Joe Eason up into fourth. John Bowler is relegated to fifth. We're back with the race leader though, Mika Mackinnon. Mackinnon about to pass Trevor Martin. And Joanne pulling away now. Binty's got through and passed John Bowler as well. So Joanne Eason in fourth place. There is Steve Powell, who at the moment completes our podium positions behind Simon Cole. So down across the line goes the 16 machine of Brad Smith. Jim Bennett in 28 immediately behind, but it's Mika Mackinnon still out front here. Welcome back to Donington Park. This is the opening race of the weekend for the Division 2s. Mika Mackinnon, we saw briefly there, is the race leader, the Finnish driver. This is Adam Bint up ahead of John Bowler, dicing over fifth place. Bowler was in front, been repassed, and ahead of them Joanne Eason, who's on her way to a fourth place finish by the look of it as we go on to the last lap. Joanne Eason starting 9th on the grid, just to put her drive into perspective. So super drive from Joanne. There is Simon Cole in the Beast, the Mercedes, running in second place. So Mika Mackinnon leads Simon Cole there in second position. And Cole here is going to score, I think, 3 points more than Adam Bint. He won't take second in the championship, but he will edge a little bit closer as a result of this finish. He's closing up on Andrew Fulcher in the Lenham MAN. fastest lap of the race, unsurprisingly, with Mika Mäkinen, as we see Luke Garrett and Tony Smith disputing 7th place. Tony having dropped back. I'm sure you'll agree, some immaculate machines on track, all headed by this man, the Finn, Mika Mäkinen, in the 71. And Mika comes into the chicane for the last time. Trevor Martin immediately behind him, but Mika will see the checkered flag. Jim Bennett, his next target in the green 28. And a little bit of a buzz of the pit wall. Mika Mäkinen takes the win, his 7th win of the season. Trevor Martin crosses the line, he is 13th. Second place therefore goes to Simon Cole, and it's Steve Powell in yellow is going to complete the podium behind his teammate Andrew Fulcher in 13th. The Lenham truck completes the race. There is Steve Powell, 3rd position behind Cole and Mäkinen, 4th place. We wait for Joanne Eason's going to hold on. Adam Bint having a late run to try and challenge Joanne, and it's by no means settled, but Joanne Eason is going to cross the line, takes that 4th place. So here's the result. Mäkinen, Cole, Powell, Joanne Eason from Adam Bint and John Bowler. Luke Garrett ahead of Tony Smith, Brad Smith 9th, and Jim Bennett, all of those picking up valuable championship points. 11th goes to Andrew Fulcher from Wayne Eason and Trevor Martin. Fastest lap to the Flying Finn.
Simon, congratulations. A podium to open the weekend.
Yeah, very hard that. We've been just come back from Germany. We had a nightmare in Germany. Lorry was undrivable. We come back, changed a few things. Seems to get seems got himself back together again. We're midway through the season now, so yeah, the points it's all about finishing in this game. I think I say to myself, a top 5 finish every race, I think will win you the championship. So it's just all about finishing, really.
Well, as you know, with truck racing, things can get a little bit frantic between races, and we're going to have a quick word with John Bowler, who's working hard. John, what's going on?
Hello, yeah. Just reset the tablets on the engine, ready for the next race.
Problems in race 1 then?
Yeah, we had underpowering, we've overcut the brakes, so I've had overheating due to water system on the brakes, and obviously with the engine, we're just trying to get it right so we have no further issues on the second race.
Keith, first of all, great to see you here. Many thanks for your support. Big event for you.
Really big event, you know. I mean, for us this year, it's the biggest we've ever done. We've got 4 stands here actually. We're in the infield with Commercial Motor, and we're here in the paddock as normal with the rest of our brands. So yeah, really big event.
Give us a quick reminder for our viewers of what HRVS do.
The largest truck dealer in the UK now for MAN. So we're very proud of that, but on top of that we've got Isuzu truck, we've got Isuzu pickup, we've got Casbora trailers, and we've got new to the fold LDV vans this year. You know, and obviously we've got the race team. Fair play to the organisers. You know, this weekend's event really has, you know, turned the notch up somewhat.
An absolutely massive weekend here. Convoy in the Park, as expected, brought a huge show truck entry, and it virtually took over the entire infield here at Donington Park, meaning that there was plenty for everybody to see. Show truck judging, therefore, was harder than ever. We'll say a massive thank you to everyone who took part, and warmest congratulations to Coles and Sons, who won the best in show.
Matthew, first of all, big thank you for your support for the British Truck Racing Championship here at Donington. What does this event mean to you?
I mean, for us, it's an opportunity to support the truck industry. For us, we focus very much on the haulage and the heavy haulage industry in terms of insurance. So this does allow us to both bring clients here and also meet clients, some of who are on the track and some that come to watch and support. So it's very much, you know, in the heart of what we do and the clients that we deal with.
We've enjoyed seeing Towergate around the country supporting this championship, so I'm guessing it's a nationwide business.
Yep, we have 100 offices up and down the UK, some that focus on various niche areas. So, Towergate are very big supporters of the particular niche businesses, and any opportunity that we get to come and meet our clients, support them in what they do is something that we'll take.
Race 2 for Division 1. Great start from Ray Coleman off the front of the grid. Michael Oliver is second, then Matt Summerfield. Stuart Oliver wide. Ryan Smith looks up the inside line. A little bit of a wobble from Ollie James off into the dirt. Terry Gibbon very nearly follows as well. The 89 machine tries to go through on the inside line. That is Simon Reed, the former Division 2 champion. What a start though. Very tricky conditions here as Ryan Smith looks up the inside line. Two champions, reigning champion and ex-champion there. Michael Oliver still in second place with Ray Coleman out front at the moment. The field going well. You can see Ollie James back of shot has recovered, which is good news. The Frenchman Anthony Aniek Different kettle of fish here for Anthony, starting at the back of the field. As you can see, he's finding it very physical indeed. It's at the moment he's proving difficult to pass. Is it a French truck blockade? I don't think so, because going down the inside line now is the number 7 of Stuart Oliver, and trying to do what he couldn't do in race number 1. It's and off goes Terry Gibbon. Terry Gibbon in the 37 keeps it going. He's got momentum. Good recovery from Terry. And what I was saying was that Dave Jenkins, of course, was second in race 1 behind Janiek, and he's got past the Frenchman now as Stuart Oliver runs wide. Very slippery, as you can see. Jenkins through, Janiek through. Michael Oliver leading. He's looking not only for a first win, but also a maiden truck racing podium. And this, our second generation driver makes a little mistake, runs wide now. Ryan Smith is going to pop the Taylor's machine up the inside line. Defending champion, he's through. Ryan Smith goes through. Michael Oliver, for sure, is going to fight back, but his thoughts maybe will turn to a first podium rather than the win now. He's got Matt Summerfield behind him. He's sandwiched between a load of championship winners for sure. Smith getting away. There is Oliver in second place. Third position now is Anthony Janiek. The Frenchman's worked his way back through. Now the race has settled down. You can see the bit of damage on the outside of Dave Jenkins' truck. Janiek now in second place. Michael Oliver is hanging on for that podium side by side with Matt Summerfield, with Shane Brereton coming up the inside line. Brereton trying to pass Summerfield, contact between the two, and it's momentum, too much momentum for Summerfield. The back comes round and Summerfield is off the track. That was those two, Brereton and Summerfield, battling for second place in the standings. It's Ryan Smith who's going to take the win. Anthony Janiek second, but the big story here is Michael Oliver hanging on for a first podium, or is he? He gets tail out, goes across the gravel. Michael Oliver's going to grab his first truck racing podium. History of the making here at Donington Park. Oliver gets third behind Janiek and Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith, Anthony Janiek, Michael Oliver from Shane Brereton, then Stuart Oliver and David Jenkins. Ray Coleman 7th from Simon Reed. Terry Gibbon in 9th place, completing the finishes.
Ryan, congratulations. That's the first win of the weekend.
Well, that's the first one. We didn't get off to a good start, really. We've been struggling with setup with the truck, but, you know, these conditions this was probably what we needed to even it out a little bit. And, you know, as you can see from twice, from the red flag and the second start, we did it both times, got to the front, and luckily we come away with the win.
Michael, many congratulations. That first podium, we knew it was coming. Did you know it was coming?
Well, I did now, but at the time I didn't know. Flipping heck, it was hard work, that.
How does it feel to take a first podium? And there was some real stiff competition out there, wasn't there?
I was being attacked left, right and centre. Well, to be honest, I'm quite lucky to be still on the track and get my trophy, but flipping heck, it was hard work.
A very wet start to the second Division 2 race, and what a start by Tony Smith. Slots through between Brad Smith and Jim Bennett going down into Redgate. We've got Luke Garrett left of shot in the 42 trying to challenge for second place. John Bowler's through and past Bennett. Adam Bint trying to go through on the inside line in the bonneted CMG machine. Then it's Steve Powell. Joanne Eason is next up. Down at the old hairpin for the first time. Tony Smith, of course, won't be getting any spray for anyone, so I think he realised the urgency of getting in front. Really good start from him. Brad Smith, though, first year driver. This is how you learn, isn't it, really, by these very, very tricky conditions, which are catching everybody out, to be fair. And John Bowler through the gravel, rejoined side by side with Binty. Steve Powell just watching that recovery and working out where he can put the HGV direct truck to get past. He's got the momentum, he goes through, makes the pass on John Bowler. Mika Mackinnon in behind as well. Mackinnon and Powell both coming through the field. Remember, they were at the top of the tree for race 1, so they start at the back for this one as Adam Bint gets understeer, go down into the old hairpin, into the gravel, gets it out. Good recovery from Binty. That's the sort of recovery you need to do to win championships. He'll be hoping to score some points here. We've got 14 starters, so 4 drivers won't score points. This the battle for second place. Tony Smith in blue, just heading out of shot, is the race leader. Luke Garrett gets a little bit of opposite lock there, and Steve Powell through into second place. Powell now second, Garrett down to third, then Mika Mackinnon in fourth place. These reverse grid races, really a podium from the back in these conditions. Remarkable result, but heading towards the checkered flag is Tony Smith, who's going to grab another win in the Sisu. Watch for the checkered flag. Tony Smith takes it. He's about 2 seconds ahead of Steve Powell in second place. Luke Garrett third from Mika confirmation of that result. Adam Bint still came through in 5th place from Simon Cole. John Bowler 7th. Paddy McCumsky in 8th from Brad Smith and Joanne Eason. Then James Aikenhead, Jim Bennett and Andrew Fulcher.
End of a very long day here at Donington, but congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thanks very much. I really, I just needed to get out in front and push as hard as I could, but treacherous conditions, but really enjoyed it. It was good.
Steve, congratulations, a fine drive coming through, reeling in Tony, but ran out of time.
Yeah, it was a short race, but pleased with the pace and the conditions. I know they were really wet, but it wasn't too bad. Ashley done a really good setup on the lorry before we went out, so really happy with it. And we had the pace, definitely. We was dragging them in one by one. You just don't want to get involved too much in the wet, so you just don't take too many chances. And no, really happy with it, really happy with it.
Welcome back to Donington. Check out the Digraph pace truck. That is absolutely mint and all part and parcel of the fun here at Donington Park. Terry Gibbon starts on pole. Simon Reed alongside. Row 2, Ray Coleman and David Jenkins from Stuart Oliver and Shane Brereton. Michael Oliver on row 4 with Anthony Yaniak, Ryan Smith, Matt Summerfield row 5. Then Ollie James and Luke Taylor. Ricky Collett completes the grid, which on a damp track gets underway now. The thunder is unleashed here at Donington Park. On board with Stuart Oliver, chasing the number 2 truck of Ray Coleman down into Redgate. And off the track again, Matt Summerfield having a mare, the HRVS truck. The back end comes around, he checks it up, he's going to try and rejoin. We're on board with Dave Jenkins. Jenkins up into second place there. Goes through on the inside line of Terry Gibbon. Gibbon down to 3rd. Stuart Oliver 4th. Michael Oliver 5th. Then it's Ryan Smith. Ollie James. Anthony Yaniak at the moment side by side with Ray Coleman, who's racing hard. Coming down into the old hairpin. Yaniak's got the inside line, but Coleman doesn't want to cede it. And now Ricky Collett getting in on the action as well in the Collett HGV Direct machine, the back of the field. Here's the view from Stuart Oliver. You can see a little bit of moisture being kicked up onto the windscreen, but it's the 89 machine, front row starter Simon Reed, who leads this one with David Jenkins in the black Digraph MAN. Michael Oliver here, super podium for him, and he's passed by Ryan Smith. The Taylor's machine slots up the inside line. Ollie James immediately in behind, then Ray Coleman. Anthony Yaniak trying to make up spaces at the moment, but Simon Reed running well in the 89 from Dave Jenkins. Jenkins trying to close in. Terry Gibbon still running there in 3rd position and under pressure from Stuart Oliver. And up the inside line comes Anthony Yaniak, makes the pass on Ray Coleman. So the Frenchman goes through the line racing machine, adjusting to life, having to start from the very back after those wins. And Yaniak working his way through the field. Look at this superb sight as the trucks come down along Wheatcross Straight into Redgate, past the exit from the pit lane. Yaniak ahead of Coleman, then Ricky Collett, the recovering Matt Summerfield. Summerfield again knows that the championship all about bagging points in races like this. As Ray Coleman runs a little bit wide, you can see how muddy it is on the exit of Redgate. Get it wrong, go a little bit too far, and that could wipe out a hat load of points for any driver. Collett now chasing Coleman again. Matt Summerfield in blue at the not quite at the back, trying to hunt those 2 racers down. Coleman runs a little bit wide. Collett here looking up the inside, but that converts to the outside as they go into McLean's. Simon Reed still out front. Dave Jenkins in 2nd. Terry Gibbon doggedly hanging on to 3rd place at the moment because Stuart Oliver's got his mirrors full here of Ryan Smith. You get a great view of the climb into Coppice Corner there. Oliver still here at the moment, comes onto Exhibition Straight. He's going to have to come across, covers the inside line there because Ryan Smith is chasing him. The white and fluorescent Taylor's machine goes to the outside line now. Great driving from Stuart Oliver there, and Oliver still busy chasing the 37 for 3rd place. So Oliver having to attack as well as defend. He's going to have to go defensive again. Very close between Oliver and Ryan Smith, who goes right of shot. We've got a battle on for the lead now. Smith goes down the inside line. Ryan Smith hasn't got the momentum. Back to the outside line. Oliver will compromise his cornering here by this tight entry into Redgate. The Synergy truck, though, the Synergy Kelso machine, still holds on. Let's watch to the right of shot if he can get across. onto the apex, which he does. Stewart really not being presented with any opportunity to crack on and have a go at Terry Gibbon here to try and get that third place. So Gibbon still there at the moment, and Oliver still under big pressure from Ryan Smith. Great bit of truck racing here. Smith, you feel, has got the speed. On board again with David Jenkins. So this is Jenkins' second position, chasing the race leader, Simon Reed. Simon's immaculate Iveco. Simon has not been with us all season, wanted to get the truck right. And first round he kind of treated as a little bit of a test session. Blue skies, which is going to be a welcome sight for these drivers overhead as Jenkins continues to chase. Ollie James at the moment trying to fend off Anthony Janiek, and then we've got the number 12 Michael Oliver up ahead. Oliver could be in for another decent points haul here, and here's the view from Stuart Oliver, who is looking at the outside line here of Terry Gibbon, and that could allow Ryan Smith through, but he straight lines the last bit of the chicane, and that unsettles him into Gibbon. Gibbon's off on the grass. Does he go into the tyres? He glances the tyres. That could have been a lot worse. Oliver still fighting his truck, and Ryan Smith now goes through into third place. Stuart Oliver and Terry Gibbon both recover from that, but really Oliver was very fast into the chicane, bounced over the curbs, unsettled the truck, and that forced him into Terry Gibbon. Some muscular truck racing. Michael Oliver there ahead of Ollie James, then Anthony Janiek, Ray Coleman, Matt Summerfield climbing through the field. Shane Brereton is in behind as well in the 17, and then Ricky Collett, who gets the wheels on the grass. That's what we were talking about. He does a gyration or a half gyration. Ricky Collett will, I'm sure, get back on track as Coleman, Summerfield and Brereton engage in another three-way scrap. We've seen so much battling this weekend. The crowds here have been treated to some superb British truck racing action. It's no wonder that many of the leading Europeans are coming over to watch this racing. Stuart Oliver trying to now repass Terry Gibbon, who is back in front once again. Shane Brereton setting some decent lap times here in the 17s, all over the back of Matt Summerfield. And I can tell you that Brereton, on the points by my maths anyway, has got second position in the championship now, ahead of the 84 machine of Matt Summerfield. 125 points playing 123, with Ryan Smith on 147 still in the championship lead. So anytime you see Brereton and Summerfield together, it is. Anthony Janiek goes straight on, loses a little bit. Stuart Oliver's got a problem in the 7 truck. Stuart Oliver, my goodness me, one of the big guns. Is that going to be a retirement for Stuart? It does not look happy at all. Anthony Janiek not looking too happy either, and it's into pit lane. Not what we wanted to see. Stuart Oliver looks like a retirement. Michael continues. Shane Brereton next up from Ray Coleman. This has been a physical race, and Oliver, I think, becomes the first official casualty. This the battle for the lead, and look at Ryan Smith trying to close in on the lead too. The race leader though, Simon Reed, is still there. Simon Reed coming under massive pressure now from Dave Jenkins. Jenkins will look in his mirrors and see Ryan Smith there as well. This is a super bit of truck racing. Again, a three-way scrap. Ryan Smith goes to the outside. Jenkins goes outside as well, effectively blocking Smith, but giving notice of intent that he wants to lead. Into Roberts, the chicane, and the race leader is soaking up the pressure. Simon Reed runs a little bit wide there. Jenks is going to have a look here. He's sticking to the inside line onto the last lap. Now goes to the outside, effectively blocking Smith. Now dives to the inside line, coming down into red gate. Can he go through? No, he can't. And still there is Simon Reed. But look at the back end going around. He drifts wide. Reed loses the lead. Reed loses second. Oh, Simon Reed. He could have hung on to that, but now we've got a battle for the lead between Dave Jenkins in the digraph machine and the Taylor's number 1 of defending champion. So ex-champion versus defending champion here for the lead. Simon Reed, fair play, has recovered and is still running in third place, but he had a massive amount of pressure. Shane Brereton, he's in 4th place, the 17. Terry Gibbon in 5th. Brereton's got the fastest lap as well. As the battle for the lead continues, it's physical stuff, and Dave Jenkins is still holding on. Here's the climb up into Coppice. Keep your eyes glued on the white and fluorescent truck of Ryan Smith, who wants to get a win. This is the view Jenkins wants though. Clear track from his onboard. Very slightly downhill past the exhibition centre. Well worth the visit if you ever come to Donington. Into Roberts for the last time. And it's Jenkins who's going to grab the points very, very neatly into the chicane and out of the chicane. We might see a run from Ryan Smith up towards the flag. Look for the checker. It's David Jenkins that takes the win. Jenkins the winner. Ryan Smith is second. Simon Reed recovers for an excellent third place after leading for so long. He'll be happy with the podium but disappointed not to have held on to the win. He was under massive pressure and had that drift into Redgate that saw him go wide, but he recovered well. Shane Brereton comes through for fourth. More points for Brereton, and I think consolidating second in the championship. Terry Gibbon is going to take fifth place. Then Matt Summerfield recovering well. Summerfield up into sixth place, and then he's followed by Ollie James. Here's confirmation of that result. Jenkins, Smith and Reed on the podium. Brereton, Gibbon and Summerfield the next three from James, Anthony Yaniek, Ray Coleman, Michael Oliver in 10th place. Ricky Collett and Stuart Oliver sadly non-finishing.
Dave Jenkins podium again, but more significantly than that, a great driver. Congratulations on a fantastic win.
Thank you very much. Brilliant. Absolutely over the moon with that. I honestly didn't know Ryan was there until I looked up. I went past Reed. I thought, oh, thank God for that. And I looked in the mirror. I thought, uh-oh. Now I would need to really get my head down. I don't know what sort of lap times Ryan was doing, but it must have been fairly blistering. But I thought I'd got it in hand, you know. So, and it seems we did. So brilliant.
And what a crowd to do it in front of.
Absolutely fantastic. The crowd, a bumper crowd here at Donington, and I'm so brilliantly supported by Digraph Transport Supplies, and you know, this has got to be the best of British truck racing.
Right, and what a race that was. Talk us through those last few laps.
Do you know what? I really enjoyed it. We started at the back because we won the last race yesterday, but yeah, we had fantastic pace. We got through the traffic. The track conditions weren't great, and I think that Dave and Simon was about 8 seconds in front, and I just thought, shall I, shan't I? Yeah, come on, why not? One more lap and it could have been a different story, but you know, 9 points from that position where we was. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Taylor's, PTI and everybody else that's been involved in this event. So far it's been a fantastic event, and the last two races I think the spectators are in for some good racing.
Simon, spoke to you briefly yesterday. The truck seems to be behaving itself, led for such a long time. Do you feel like you've been mugged though?
Yeah, just a wee bit. But towards the end of the race, we were. It's the same as anything. The lads behind always need an extra lap, and I need one less. You know what I mean? You know, it's certainly a plus for the team. All the hard work we've been doing on the truck really does show now. You know, we're starting to get there with it. Yeah, brilliant. What can I say?
Super racing to end our opening programme from Donington Park. Please join us next time for an exciting conclusion to the convoy in the park. The British Truck Racing Championship 2017 brought to you by Goodyear and Towergate Insurance. A very warm welcome to Donington Park for our second programme. Yes, it's the convoy in the park.
Alan, first of all, a massive thank you for your support for this event, and what a fantastic show you put on for us.
You know what? It's just all about everybody enjoying themselves, isn't it? It's just all about having fun, and that's all we've intended to come and do.
That's great. Tell us a bit about the fleet. Part of the fleet is here, but how big is it as a whole?
We've got 200 trucks now, but again, it's a thing what people like trucks. That's why we've wanted to support this festival of trucks today.
And your driver has just had a good result through from the back of the grid.
Oh, right, Ryan never ceases to amaze all us visitors and guests and family and friends. It's a case of just watch this driver. It's brilliant.
Division 2 time now with Andrew Fulcher due to start on pole position from James Aikenhead, Wayne Eason and Adam Bidd next from Jim Bennett, Trevor Martin, Luke Garrett and John Bowler on row 4, Paddy Mack and Brad Smith row 5 from Joanne Eason and Steve Powell, Tony Smith, Mika Macklin next from Simon Cole and Andy Lovenbury. Well, things changed around a little bit. We've got Wayne Eason on the front row of the grid, and again, very wet conditions here at Donington Park. Effectively the row 2 of the grid that I gave you on the front row here. Wayne Eason leading from Adam Bidd, Jim Bennett in third, and it's 3 wide going into Redgate with Trevor Martin on the outside line. Brad Smith side by side with Steve Powell. This is the penultimate race of the meeting. Let me tell you that in the previous race, Simon Cole took a win. It was Mika Mäkinen second from Tony Smith, Steve Powell and Joanne Easton in 5th place, which is why those drivers are starting towards the back. But it's Wayne Easton out front here, the boss of WDE Motorsport, a noted British racing team. Through goes Luke Garrett. Jim Bennett now also being passed by Paul McCumsky, and then John Bowler in the 14 truck as well. But Wayne Easton leading this one well, climbing up into McLean's, chased by Adam Bint, the former champion. Luke Garrett's just got a very interesting complexion this race, not only because the rain, as you can see, is absolutely hammering down. It's filthy out there, but we've got different drivers up towards the front. This really has been the complexion for Division 2 this year. Very competitive indeed. Sure, we've got Mika Mäkinen with a decent lead championship-wise, but a very eclectic mix of trucks, and we've seen lots of different people up on the podium over the course of the season. And one driver looking to get further up the podium is Luke Garrett, but he's a little bit behind Adam Bint at the moment. So it's Wayne Easton, who's driven a great first lap. The WDE Motorsport man out front, the team boss, runs a very successful Renault Clio team on the touring car package. He's a great guy, Wayne, and the team absolutely top-notch bunch of lads. And they put together a real good truck. So really good to see Wayne up the front now, as we saw his missus Joanne on the just shy of a podium early on, but he's under pressure, and Adam Bint goes through the CMG back machine, goes through on the inside line and makes the pass. So it's Adam Bint now, who incidentally is down to 3rd in the championship on my standing. Simon Cole, with his win in the previous race, moves up to 2nd on 108 points, and Binty down to 3rd on 106. Tony Smith not that far behind on 103, so very tight indeed. There is Andrew Fulcher getting some decent lappery in now, and really you've got to say not the conditions you want to learn truck racing in. Andrew, a newcomer to truck racing, as Steve Powell, who was just shy of the podium in the previous race, goes past Jim Bennett. Mika Mäkinen in hot pursuit, Mika in 2nd place in the previous race to Simon Cole, and there's Tony Smith in pursuit as well. So Tony, Adam Bint, Simon Cole all dicing over 3rd place in the championship, all in the close proximity of each other. Binty, though, holds sway at the moment. Luke Garrett looking handy in 3rd position. Paul McCumsky coming under pressure from John Bowler, and then Mäkinen and Powell, who have come through very well from Tony Smith. So Mika Mäkinen, whatever you throw at him in terms of starting at the back of the grid, always works his way through. And that's, of course, is an added bonus for the race fans here. None of this fastest off the front all the way through the meeting. Sure, we do it in race 1, but the rest of the meeting reverse grids. It means that the race fans get to see the skill of the drivers, and it is absolute skill, which we're about to see here for 2nd place side by side. Wayne Easton in white and blue being challenged by Luke Garrett down the inside line. Garrett placed the truck very well indeed, goes through. Wayne still in 3rd place, but Paul McCumsky right in behind him. Paddy, remember, was 3rd in the championship last year, and Paddy looks like he's going to make a move along with John Bowler on the outside line. Bowler very nearly on the grass. So it's Adam Bint out front, Luke Garrett in 2nd, Paul McCumsky now through into 3rd, Wayne Easton defending from John Bowler into Redgate. But just look at the water on track and how those guys hang on to it. Mika Mäkinen goes through as well, but Adam Bint out front, he could really do with some points here. Adam Bint, Mika Mäkinen on 135 points, so Mika could actually pack up now and go back to Finland, and he would lead the championship at the end of the meeting. But he still wants to grab those points. The Mad Croc team running well. James Aikenhead and Trevor Martin engaged in battle. Good to see James back. And another immaculately prepared Sisu. Trevor Martin, who we've seen on the podium before. He's running well. But now it's Luke Garrett out front. So Garrett leads. 2nd place now, Adam Bint. 3rd place, Paul McCumsky. Mika Mäkinen coming through on the inside line of John Bowler. Passes 2 drivers at once. Passes John. Passes Wayne Easton as well. So the Mad Croc nipping past on the inside line. Did so safely. Steve Powell in the mix as well, coming through the field yet again. But it's Luke Garrett who leads this one. Are we going to see a maiden win of the season here for Luke Garrett? He's done a lot of hard work, and he's had some bad fortune this year. At some point, his luck has got to change. Steve Powell looks down the inside line there of Wayne Easton. Wasn't quite close enough to be able to do it. John Bowler, though, the man who's passed. So Bowler comes out of the chicane, chasing Steve Powell. He's going to have a look at a run on the outside. Look how tricky conditions are here. Past goes Mika Mackinnon. Here comes Wayne Easton. Steve Powell with John Bowler. Then Tony Smith in the Sisu. James Aikenhead now got the better of Trevor Martin. That's for 12th place. Trevor in the Scania, chasing the Sisu. And Adam Bint now coming under pressure. This you would have perceived as being the battle for the overall championship, I guess, at the start of the season, between Mika Mackinnon and Adam Bint. Binty, the defending champion, of course. But look at Luke Garrett getting away here. Luke Garrett driving superbly and stretching away from that battle for second place. Mika Mackinnon takes a wide line here. Is he going to look at the outside of Adam Bint? He goes for the cutback on the inside now, coming up into Coppice, and Binty's going to lose second position here. And Mika goes through, read that very well indeed. Mika Mackinnon goes through on the entrance into Coppice. Look at the back end wanting to come round on the 71 truck. Binty, for his part, fighting back. Wants to look on the inside line. Paul McCumsky getting in a little bit sideways as well. Wayne Easton coming under pressure from Tony Smith behind. Smith in blue, Easton in white and blue. But we've got the John Bowler truck in fifth position, having a look as well, as Paul McCumsky now passes Adam Bint as well. Great move by Paddy McCumsky. Through on the inside line into third place. Paddy Mack is up on the podium. Super move from the ABS back driver. And Binty again, he's not finished. He's going to look at the outside line here. Adam Bint. Now we need to look at where he finishes in relation to Simon Cole. Cole is at the back of shot at the moment, because those two, just 2 points by my reckoning between those two for second place coming into this race, with Tony Smith a further 3 points behind. So second position in the championship, very hotly contested. There's Andrew Fulcher running in 14th place, running a good steady pace. Andrew, best lap of a 1:59 for him. But this is the battle for the lead, and it is Garrett coming under pressure from Mika Mackinnon. Garrett built a decent lead in the early stages of this one, and he's still out front. Mackinnon has thrown absolutely everything at it, and on the penultimate lap got the best lap of the race, a 1:48.987. A very quick lap in wet conditions. He's all over the back of Luke Garrett, but Garrett mildly defensive, you've got to say, a little bit battle scarred on the front from an earlier race. The team have put it all back together, and Luke Garrett in superb form here exits the chicane, and surely is going to take the checker. Luke Garrett gets a maiden win of the year, holding off Mika Mackinnon. Great race to the flag. Garrett just pipped him by 1/100th of a second. Paul McCumsky is third and completes the podium. Tony Smith is in fourth place with Steve Powell fifth. Garrett, Mackinnon, McCumsky, Smith and Powell, as we saw across the line. John Bowler in sixth from Adam Bint. Simon Cole eighth from Brad Smith. Wayne Easton completing the point scorers in 10th. Then it was Jim Bennett, James Aikenhead, Trevor Martin and Andrew Fulcher.
Luke, many congratulations. A very important win in front of a big crowd here.
Yeah, I think it's that we did last year and the beginning of this year. I think it's been a long time coming, but yeah, it's been very enjoyable in the wet here. So yeah, I really like it.
A very close race at the end there with Mika as well.
Yeah, I was convinced he actually got in front of me, but obviously not. So it was good.
Paddy, good to see you on the podium, third place. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, it was pretty slippy out there, believe you me. But yeah, it was a good result. I think I started 8th on the grid, so to get past a few and get up to third, it was a good result for us. But do you know what? They run over with the spanners and said, "Do you want us to put it on wet settings?" I says, "No, it'll blow over." What a mistake to have made. So I was actually out there on dry settings. I don't know what anybody else was, and the traction was about 0.
Thank you very much for your support here at Convoy in the Park. Can you tell us a bit about the business?
Yeah, basically we essentially are a national truck rental business. We have 1,050 trucks on hire from Land's End to John O'Groats, from a 3.5 ton van right through to specialist vehicles, crane trucks, tipper grabs, beaver tails, generally construction based vehicles. So we have two sides. We have a dry freight side and we have a construction based side to the business. To bring 6 trucks in your team for the weekend, everybody's had a great time. It's great fun, and hopefully we can do more about it in the future.
Just one more race to go here at Donington Park, so stay with us for the fantastic truck finale. Welcome back to Donington Park. Here's the finale. Ryan Smith and Anthony Janiek front row, from Shane Brereton and Dave Jenkins, Matt Summerfield and Stuart Oliver, then Michael Oliver and Ollie James, Ray Coleman and Terry Gibbon completing Division 1, Mika Mackinnon and Steve Powell Division 2, from Tony Smith and Simon Cole. It's Luke Garrett and John Bowler, Adam Bint and Paul McCumsky, Brad Smith, Trevor Martin, and then Wayne Eason and Jim Bennett. We are, however, missing Anthony Janiek and Matt Summerfield on the first start, sadly losing them. But here we are on board with Stuart Oliver. Looks down the inside line here, a muscular move on the 17 of Shane Brereton. Second place at the moment, though, is Dave Jenkins. In fact, we've got the championship positions first and second here in the race, and it is physical, isn't it? Going down, Simon Cole going a little bit wide. John Bowler gets a wheel on the dirt as well, but it's Brian Smith out front from Stuart Oliver. Dave Jenkins now in third place. Then Shane Brereton. Brereton running well championship-wise as well. With you can see the tyre marks coming down from the crane of curves. We've had two trucks having an excursion off the track. Matt Summerfield, sadly, and Anthony Janiek, which is a shame to lose those two big guns. We were looking to see the showdown between Janiek maybe and Ryan Smith, or Matt Summerfield, Stuart Oliver, Dave Jenkins. They could have all been in the mix in this one, but it wasn't to be. But we've got a great race in prospect with the Division 2 boys back on the grid as well. So a full grid of race trucks here at Donington Park. We're looking at Terry Gibbon trying to close down on Ray Coleman, with Mika Mackinnon in behind as well. And you can see Mackinnon, it's the first time we've seen how the Mackinnon truck relates to the Division 1 machines. And you can see in these early stages, Mackinnon not that far behind some of the runners in the Division 1 trucks. But it's Ryan Smith out front, Stuart Oliver second, third place is Dave Jenkins. Terry Gibbon trying to put the pressure here on Ray Coleman, and he's going to be looking in his mirrors, of course, at the Division 2 truck of Mika Mackinnon trying to come through as well. Smith, though, in the PT Hire machine still out front. Trevor Martin and Wayne Eason involved there. Adam Bint pops through on the inside line of Jim Bennett. So, previous race for the Division 1 machines was won once again by Anthony Janiek. Ryan Smith taking second. Michael Oliver bagged another podium, a second podium. He waited for a while for his first one and now gets two in the same meeting. Matt Summerfield was fourth from David Jenkins and Stuart Oliver, but there is Mika Mackinnon, the championship leader for Division 2. Ryan Smith getting away at the minute though. Oliver and Jenkins having a really good battle at the moment for second place, with Shane Brereton back in third, and all of those drivers really in with the mix championship wise. No points of course for a non-finish, no drop scores either in the championship, so it really is about finishing up at the sharp end and being very, very consistent indeed. Ryan Smith though driving away at the moment. So Smith, who won race 2 of this meeting. Anthony Janiek has had 2 wins. The other race of course going to Dave Jenkins that we saw. Ollie James there making good progress and passes Shane Brereton. So Ollie James, the Bagheera Freightliner, really looking handy in this one. It's Smith still out front from Stuart Oliver, and then David Jenkins, and Ollie James trying to close down on Jenkins at the moment, and Shane Brereton will be hoping that Ollie James manages to pull him up closer to the lead runners as well, maybe in for a battle on the podium. The Division 2's racing hard as well. Tony Smith there from John Bowler. Remember, it's Mika Mackinnon in black who leads it, and he's out of shot at the moment. Tony Smith in the lighter blue truck, the bonneted truck, running in second position in class. And depending where Tony Smith finishes here, he's got a chance of going second in the championship standings. If he finishes 2 or 3 places ahead of Simon Cole and Adam Bint, he could well take second in the standings. Subject to confirmation, of course, as down the inside line now, Ollie James passes Dave Jenkins. James is through and into third place. So it's Ryan Smith leading, Stuart Oliver second, and Ollie James goes through into third place, into a podium. And now we've got Shane Brereton putting the pressure on as well. And Ollie James has come through if you cast your minds back to the grid that I read out, he was 8th on the grid, Ollie James. So super racing from him. Dave Jenkins still fighting hard, as ever he will, in the digraph truck, and so too is Shane Brereton, who gets it all sideways, winds up on the gravel, shortcuts a little bit of the flashing lights here for the winner. I was going to say, Brereton straight lining the last bit of the chicane, and Ryan Smith clearly taking nothing for granted. That's Wayne Eason that he's approaching now, and he obviously wants Wayne to see him there. The marshals will of course be waving blue flags, and Wayne will be very well aware that the Division 1 truck of Ryan Smith is looming up on him. Wayne, a very fair driver, he won't want to interfere with the Division 1 battle. Coming down into the old hairpin, and look at that, Wayne, as I said, keeps a very wide berth there. That's very commendable from Wayne Eason, allows the race leader through. I'm sure he will do for Stuart Oliver and Ollie James as well. Here's the battle in Division 2. Steve Powell fighting hard to try and relieve John Bowler of that podium position. Powell's had a very, very consistent weekend in the HGV Direct truck, really getting to grips with it. And with him coming back into the championship top runners, we can expect things to really close up as we move towards the end of the season. Remember, it's Snetterton next time. We've still got an outing, a second outing of the year at Pembrey. The big finale, of course, is at Brands Hatch, the November meeting. I do hope you'll join us for that. It's a massive weekend, all culminated with a huge firework display once the championships have been settled. We're looking at this year's championship leader, Ryan Smith, trying to chase down Jim Bennett and Trevor Martin. Flash of the lights again. Second position still Stuart Oliver, but he's being harried now by Ollie James. You can see Dave Jenkins not that far behind as well. Some of the trucks looking a little bit worse for wear now. It's been a physical weekend's racing. Ollie James still chasing hard. He's got it really wound up well. Shane Brereton in 5th position. And here's the view from Stuart Oliver in the Volvo. Looks ahead and he can see the race leader Ryan Smith working his way through traffic very neatly at the old hairpin past Jim Bennett, who does what Wayne Eason did, keeps to the outside line. Mika Mäkinen incidentally still leading Class 2. Here he is. The Madcrock energy drink backed Finn well clear, and in fact chasing Terry Gibbon, not that far behind the 8th place Division 1 machine as Ryan Smith goes through. Fastest lap incidentally in each class. Ryan Smith on the penultimate lap, would you believe, and Mika Mäkinen fastest lap and seemingly getting quicker as well. But look at this as they come through the traffic. Jim Bennett hangs it out wide. David Jenkins follows Ollie James through in the 22, but it's Ryan Smith coming down Exhibition Straight for the last time who's going to take the win and fastest lap here in the 5th race of the weekend for Division 1. Into the Robert chicane for the last time. Very clean lines indeed for the Taylor's PT Hire truck, who's going to take the checker and buzzes the pit wall to take the win. Second place will go to Stuart Oliver. Third position from way back on the grid is Ollie James, who very nearly takes that second place. He was very close indeed to Stuart Oliver, the Briarwood truck coming through, but ultimately in third. Division 2, another win for Mika Mäkinen. This will be Mäkinen's 8th win of the championship. He'll extend the championship lead as he crosses the line. Tony Smith is in second. There is Tony. John Bowler in third. Big opposite lock from Bowler with Steve Powell in the number 3 truck chasing hard. Powell's got his own handling issues as well, but gathers it all up in fine style, and he will take 4th place. John Bowler, 3rd in class behind Tony Smith. Mika Mäkinen having already had the flag. Here's confirmation of the result. Ryan Smith from Stuart Oliver and Ollie James, David Jenkins, Shane Brereton, Michael Oliver, Ray Coleman and Terry Gibbon. Mika Mäkinen winning B from Tony Smith, John Bowler, Steve Powell and Paddy McCumpsky, Simon Cole, Luke Garrett and Adam Binks.
Ryan, congratulations, another win. Just looking at the overall stats, I think we had 7 different winners this weekend, but we've seen you up the top, Steve, grabbing those points.
Yeah, that was very important. It was just a case, I said to you pre-grid, I said it was just a case of getting the points out, whatever points we could get, and we brought it home in first, in front of my home crowd, as they say, in front of all my sponsors. Fantastic.
Stuart, last race of the weekend, it didn't disappoint. We had some terrific racing. Well done on the podium.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it was a good race. Had a good start, and it was a hard race, and Dave was sort of under my heels a little bit, and then I managed to sort of get through past him, and then couldn't believe it when I saw Ollie James coming in the closing laps behind us and really piling on the pressure. You know, he was going very well, but it was a good race. Certainly, I enjoyed it.
Ollie, stunning drive, great podium, congratulations. Tell us about that race.
Well, what a race that was. It was like one of those games of let's do one more lap, let's hope there's another more lap, but I think we got it together, and it just shows the pace that we have as a team and the truck, and let's see what we can do at Snetterton.
Tony, not a bad weekend. You've certainly climbed up the points chart. I'm not sure where, possibly second place, but just tell us about that last race and the weekend in general.
So the restart, I didn't get as good a start, stridey, so I had to work through the pack and then got through to second, but Mika had gone. He's a different league, and so.
John, not a bad way to finish the weekend, a podium?
Yeah, no, we're very happy with that. It was a good third, good finish to the weekend, yeah.
Much to do as you head to Snetterton.
Yeah, we've had a few ongoing issues throughout the weekend, and things have just come together in that last race. So hopefully we're going to make changes in between Snat and prevent this happening again.
Standings look like this. Ryan Smith, 31-point lead now from Dave Jenkins into second. Shane Brereton third. Matt Summerfield fourth from Stuart Oliver. And Ray Coleman completing the top six. In Division 2, Mika Mackinnon 35 points clear of Tony Smith, the new second place man. Simon Cole next, Adam Bidds, Paddy Mack and John Bowler in sixth.
Well, there we are. That's the conclusion of the first ever Convoy in the Park. What a fantastic event it was. We've had absolutely everything. Live music, stunt shows, you name it, we've had it truck-wise. It's been a superb weekend. On track, we've had 7 different winners in classes A and B. Great weekends racing, and we're going to look forward to more of that as we reconvene at Snetterton in a few weeks' time.